I know you don't. I know you don't. I know. You don't. I know you.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. His going to prison.
I said a while ago when T.I.'s son King was getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat in the media, that to me he just looked like a young kid that wanted to prove to his father that he was a man.
Tiny just shook the whole Harris household when she officially served T.I. with divorce papers, and the reason behind it has everybody talking. Word is, Tiny had finally reached her breaking point after T.I. completely disowned their son King Harris following his messy arrest. What made things even worse is that T.I. didn't even try to fight for the marriage or mend things with his family. He just let it all unravel. Now the entire situation has gotten so ugly that it's turned into a blame game, with everyone in the family pointing fingers at each other. Some say it's the parents' fault for spoiling King with everything he ever wanted, while others say King himself threw his whole life away chasing a fake street lifestyle. For many people, Tiny and T.I. splitting up feels like a shock. After all, this is a couple that's been locked in for decades, riding through cheating scandals, industry drama, and family mess without ever fully breaking. But insiders say the cracks had been there for years, and the final straw came in October 2024 when King's reckless arrest dragged the whole family into the spotlight again. That night, King was caught pulling out of a gas station in his BMW, driving reckless like he always does, when he almost ran straight into a police cruiser. The timing couldn't have been worse, because when the cops pulled him over, the smell of weed hit them instantly, and then they noticed a gun tucked in his waistband. At that point, things were already looking bad, but the real bombshell dropped when they ran his name and found out he had an outstanding warrant from 2022 for speeding, driving on a suspended license, and a DUI. King could have walked away that night if he had just played it cool, but instead all his past mistakes caught up to him at once. And when the arrest footage leaked online, the internet wasted no time tearing him apart. In the 30-minute clip, you can see it in his eyes. He knew he had finally crossed a line. For once, King wasn't acting out or trying to show off. Instead, he actually stayed calm, almost like he realized cooperating was the only option left. Even the arresting officer seemed surprised at how much he kept his composure. But that didn't stop the system from moving forward. King was booked into the DeKalb County Jail before being transferred to Pickens County once the old warrant resurfaced. The viral video sparked a storm of reactions, with fans roasting him in the comments. One person called him a trust fund prison punk, and that comment racked up thousands of likes because of how hard it dragged him. Between King's legal mess and T.I. and Tiny's marriage crumbling, the Harris family has never looked more broken. And now everyone's wondering if this is the scandal that finally pushes them past the point of no return. So King Harris's drama just hit rock bottom after Tiny slapped T.I. with those divorce papers. Why? This was done after T.I. straight up disowned King following his latest arrest. And what's wild? T.I. ain't even putting up a fight or trying to fix things. Now the whole mess is blowing up, with the family turning on each other left and right. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And folks are asking, who's really at fault here? The parents who spoiled King with everything he ever wanted? Or King himself, who tossed it all away just to play gangsta in the streets? Tiny and T.I. calling it quits might shock a lot of people. I mean, they've been locked in for decades, surviving scandal after scandal together. But truth be told, cracks have been creeping into that marriage for a long time. The final straw came in October 2024, when King's wild arrest shoved the whole family back under the spotlight. Dude was pulling out of a gas station in his BMW, driving reckless like always, when he almost smacked right into a cop car. The timing couldn't have been worse, because what the cops uncovered after pulling him over made the whole situation 10 times messier. Soon as the officers walked up, the car reeked of weed. And then, bam, they spotted a gun tucked right in King's waistband. At that point, it was already looking real bad. They snatched the gun, slapped the cuffs on him, but the real bomb dropped when they ran his name. That's when everything truly blew wide open. Turns out, King had an outstanding warrant from way back in 2022 for speeding, driving on a suspended license, and a DUI. Straight up nothing but bad news.
Alright, I need you to step out the vehicle.
What you want to do? You want to take my gun off my head?
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well?
It's guns in here.
Alright, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take the
There's no safety.
take the
Okay.
clip out.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. Let me just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. Alright, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. I'm gonna be at the church. Alright, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid.
I ain't sure this.
Just take the step to the side for me.
So, when Tip made that video warning King, it made Tiny furious because he should have done all that warning and training years ago, but he didn't. Things seemed to cool down between them for a while, but T couldn't hide his disappointment in King for long. And that feeling eventually filtered to the surface during an Atlanta Falcons game where King and T got into an argument that quickly turned physical. The argument started after King made some comments about not growing up with privilege that set Tip on edge. He quickly stepped in to correct King, reminding him that he literally had a silver spoon while growing up. King wasn't having it, and the next thing you know, he's throwing hands with his father. As you can see from the clip, the fight was really intense. It seemed like T.I. was ready to forget that this was a kid and actually beat the lights out of King. Main clip. The clip got thousands of likes within hours of hitting the internet, and it had people praising T for disciplining King. He should have busted his behind. That's an overdue library book. When you don't check the problem, it will eventually turn on you. King's been out of control. Pray for their family. However, Tiny was not happy about the fight, and she didn't like that T humiliated King like that. So, imagine her surprise when she got home to find out that T had kicked King out of the house for him to figure out how to survive on his own. She felt he took it too far, and the fallout caused a major crack in their relationship that ultimately pushed her to cut T.I. off. Another thing Tiny put in those divorce papers, T.I.'s constant cheating and violent past. 4 years. She watched him step out on their marriage and then try to spin it like he was changing. But those lies stacked up, and by the time King spiraled into his own mess, Tiny wasn't just mad at King. She was staring at the man who raised him and realizing the cycle had never been broken. That's why she finally cut T off. The part that really broke Tiny was realizing that King wasn't carving out his own path. He was copying T.I.'s. The same jail stints that once gave T his tough guy reputation is the exact blueprint King is now crashing into. So when T disowned King after his arrest, Tiny snapped. Because to her, he was disowning his own reflection. That's why those divorce papers hit the table. And you can tell how desperate King is for his father's approval by the way he's always flexing guns around. In fact, after that arrest footage went viral, there were some comments by people saying King deliberately walked into that situation just to score some jail time and solidify his street cred. There were also people saying he has finally proven himself as a rugged guy and earned the title he has been trying to get for years. Some even believe King does all these things to get attention and respect from his father. And it seemed like his antics worked. Remember how T and Boozy had to check their sons on camera? King and Bowie's son, 2DRA, were shooting a music video. But for some reason, they were more interested in showing off their guns like they were in a trap house or something. And that's when the dad stepped in. You can hear the disappointment in T.I.'s voice as he confronted King, asking him why he was so focused on being tough when there were girls around. It turned into a full lecture. T made it clear that one wrong move with the guns or having illegal around was all it would take for them to ruin their lives. He and Boozy weren't joking around, and you can see for yourself how serious they were in that moment. Main clip. On the surface, it looks like T was trying really hard to let his son understand that the path he was on would lead straight to jail. But when Tiny got wind of what had happened, she wasn't impressed. She was actually mad at T for putting their son's business out there like that. And it wasn't because she was happy that he was flexing guns and acting tough. She just thought T was a few years too late because King was only doing the same thing he had seen his father do. But the part that finally made Tiny snap was King's baby mama drama. When T.I. went on a podcast to announce that he was going to become a grandfather again because King was having a child, Tiny couldn't believe her ears. To her, it sounded like T.I. was endorsing their son's behavior when the situation was actually a very weird one. Main clip. There were rumors that King's baby mama, Big Nana, was way older than him. Some even suggested that she got with him to score a bag, and he was just too immature to see it. But King, he didn't care at all. He was super excited about the whole thing, happily stepping into the father role. When their son was eventually born in November 2024, King was over the moon. He fully leaned into his role as a father, posting and bragging about his baby. A lot of people hit me up like, "Kong, I know you tired. You ain't get no sleep." And the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working. Lifestyle. Lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time he liked to do that little live concert I be doing with him, and he liked to walk around the house. So he even wrote a track called Dear Son where he rapped about stepping up as a dad, captioning the post November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr. time to take over. For a second there it looks like King was actually ready to change, like he was finally growing up and fatherhood was teaching him to be calmer. For Tiny, the best part was that she could see King being a present father and correcting the mistakes his own father made when he was a baby. But of course, the timing couldn't have been worse. While King was online playing Proud Dad, his arrest video was making the rounds online, reminding everyone that King was still in trouble. Through all this, T tried to be a supportive dad, but he just couldn't hide the disappointment for long. And for Tiny, this was unforgivable. She might have looked past the other things, but the fact that T was so ashamed of his son, that he didn't want to live under the same roof with him, that totally broke Tiny's heart. So when the divorce papers landed, it wasn't shocking at all. It was the final blow in a marriage that had been cracking for years. And Tiny, she's done. She's not hiding. She's not covering for him anymore. The only question now is what T does next. Because if he stays silent the way he has with King, this family might already be.
To make him look better, he said it, he know not true. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the fight.
You cried like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Every day.
You used to hold your breath.
Every day.
I know you. You capping. I know you. I know you. I know you.
Shut up. Shut up.
I know you.
Ain't no mystery about
I
here.
know you though. I know you though.
Shut up.
I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business.
So motherfucking 12 pull up and they say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand.
I've been seeing him around too here a lot.
You gonna raise your own hand?
I've been seeing him around too.
Huh?
Well, when you got drugs, it ain't like
I know that.
y'all got drugs around those legal guns.
That called
It's not legal.
possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Thank you. I became a father, so I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah. And I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
Hit me up like, King, I know you tired. You ain't getting no sleep. And the truth be told, before this little I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle. Lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him, and he like to walk around the house. So